Ever seen this happen? A resident's maintenance request isn't handled exactly how they wanted, and suddenly your management company or vendor gets blamed in a scathing online review. But here's the thing. The real issue often isn't poor service. It's basic misunderstanding about how community governance actually works. Today I want to talk about a communication breakdown that affects us all. Let's get something straight right from the start. In any community, there's a clear chain of authority that many residents simply don't understand. The board sets policies, establishes budgets, and determines priorities. On the other hand, the management company implements those board decisions, and vendors, they execute specific services within the parameters the board has approved. When residents don't understand this structure, problems arise. They might expect immediate service for their specific issue, not realizing their request needs to align with board priorities and budgets. And when they don't get what they expect, who takes the heat? Usually it's not the board, it's the management company or the vendor who's just following directions. Smart boards make it crystal clear to residents who's really in charge of decision making. This transparency protects everyone involved and sets realistic expectations from the start. There's a three-part approach that transforms how communities work with vendors. First, it starts with mutual respect and realistic expectations. Remember that vendors are running businesses with multiple clients. They're allocating resources based on commitments to all their customers, not just your community. Faster response times? Those typically come with premium pricing. The relationship needs to work for both sides. Second, having the right systems in place makes a huge difference. A simple service request platform that everyone can access, boards, vendors, and when appropriate, residents, keeps everyone on the same page. Photos of issues help clarify what needs to be done, and having a template for resident notifications about scheduled maintenance prevents a lot of headaches. Third, think partnership instead of policing. Regular check-ins focused on improvement rather than criticism, recognizing vendors who communicate well, and building long-term relationships based on mutual respect goes a lot farther than constant monitoring and penalties. Here's what's often overlooked in community operations. Boards need to actively communicate with residents about vendor roles and limitations. This isn't happening enough, and it's creating unnecessary problems. Boards need to regularly remind residents that they, the board, not the management company or vendors, establish all policies, priorities, and budgets. Make it explicit that management companies and vendors operate under board direction, and emphasize that individual homeowner preferences, while important, can't override community-wide priorities. They also need to set realistic service expectations, help residents understand that service requests aren't automatically approved. They go through an evaluation process. Explain that vendors are instructed to diagnose issues first, then recommend appropriate actions, and make it clear that not every resident request will be approved if it doesn't align with community priorities. And let's talk money. Boards should share how maintenance budgets are allocated across different priorities and help residents understand that financial limitations affect service levels. Expensive fixes require board approval, not just vendor agreement. When boards don't communicate these realities, residents blame the wrong people. This leads to unfair reviews, escalated complaints, and damaged relationships, all because of a communication failure at the board level, not poor vendor performance and not always poor management company performance. Communities that get this right see dramatic improvements. When expectations are clear and everyone understands their role, vendors can complete their work with fewer interruptions and misunderstandings. Board meetings become more productive because less time spent addressing complaints and more time focusing on forward-looking improvements. Everyone benefits from the clarity. Residents know what to expect. Vendors can do their job efficiently. And management companies can focus on implementing the board's vision rather than constantly putting out fires. A big part of this is educating residents about how service really works. They need to understand that when a vendor comes out, it's often a diagnostic visit first. The vendor works for the community as a whole, not individual homeowners, and major repairs require board approval. That's just how it works. And vendors need to determine whether requested work falls within community responsibility or resident responsibility. This education shouldn't be a one-time thing. It should happen in newsletters, community meetings, and especially when new homeowners move in. If you're on the board, consider creating a simple community service expectations document that clearly outlines the board's role as decision maker for community, how service requests get evaluated and prioritized, realistic time frames for different types of work, and the limits of what vendors can approve on their own. Share this with residents every year, include it in welcome packets, and reference it whenever expectations become an issue. Remember, the most successful communities aren't the ones promising unlimited service. They're the ones clearly communicating about responsibilities, processes, and limitations. When everyone understands their role, the entire community runs more smoothly. If you found this perspective valuable, we invite you to connect with us. Facebook viewers, like our page and follow us for regular updates. Feel free to message us directly with your questions or community challenges. Instagram viewers, hit follow and feel free to DM us with your questions or community challenges. YouTube viewers, subscribe to our channel and check out the video description for helpful links. Visit our website to discover our thought leadership content, books, and resources that can transform your community management approach. Whether you're dealing with the challenges we discussed today or other community issues, we're here to help. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.